So just to give you guys a little bit of background on the show, now they work out 5, 6, 8. They work out way more than I did my season. Although my numbers still hold up just as well as some of those. You know, I lost 46% of my body weight in season 2. And so I even beat a lot of the contestants from last year, from season 6. But the thing about it is, you know, you after a while, you're in a groove. You want to get to the gym. You want to put your workout in. You want to meet with your trainer. You want to do all of that stuff because that is where the magic happens. Now, in between working out the 4 hours a day, the way it broke down is I'd work out an hour in the morning, then 2 hours in the afternoon, and an hour in the evening. So an hour in the morning we did cardio, and then 2 hours in the afternoon, that's when we met with Jillian. And so she'd work us out doing resistance for an hour and doing another hour of cardio, and then in the evening we'd work out another hour of cardio by ourselves. When I say by ourselves, I mean with the team, without our trainer. Now, in between there, you had a few things. You'd get some rest because you were really tired from working out. You'd get something to eat, and then you would go film challenges or do interviews or do one of those other things. And so it was really a pretty busy day, although there was time where you could really relax. And as the further you went along in the competition, the more relaxed it was. There were days where you would simply work out and you could rest in between because there just wasn't that much going on. The first 30 days are just amazingly busy all the time because really what has to happen is behind the scenes they've got to get everybody into a location to film the workouts, get everybody into a location to film the challenges. So that first 30 days are just incredibly busy. The cameras are there 24/7. There's not as many cameras around the further you go along in the show, at least my season. Now, they keep the ranch pretty packed with contestants for quite a ways. Now, obviously not as, as people get voted off, it's not as packed there on the ranch. But it is still really an intense environment. Cameras everywhere. You got to get your workouts in. And so now, typically what I do now at home is I work out somewhere between 4 and 7 hours per week. All right, a contestant nowadays on the show is working out from 4 to 7 hours a day. What I do is I work out between 4 and 7 hours per week. And that simply breaks down according to my schedule. If I put in 70 minutes, one day I'll come back, put in 70 minutes another. I'll take the Wednesday off and then maybe do, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's a perfect week. And then take Sunday off, so I have 2 days off. If it's a bad week where I'm constantly busy and on the go, I may put in a 2-hour workout. Or some Saturdays, I've put in what I call a brick. I put in 3-hour workouts on Saturday because I know that I miss my Wednesday and my Thursday workout. But on average, it always comes out to right between 4 to 7 hours per week. And that's what allowed me to keep my body fat between 8 and 12% consistently, keeps my weight right where I want it to be, keeps me wearing the same clothes that I wore, the week of the finale. I'm wearing this is a size large t-shirt, might not be able to tell it because the camera's really close, but, I'm able to do that, able to stay in these same clothes because I manage my mouth and I multiply my muscles. And so then I've got goals to go along with that. I've mastered my mind when it comes to eating correctly and the nutrition and setting proper goals. I've got a goal here to maintain my weight for 5 years. Maintain the weight loss for 5 years, and that's the track that I'm on now. We're into our 4th calendar year, which is just awesome. People often ask, were you able to do anything fun on the ranch, or was it all workout all the time? You were in seclusion on the ranch. My particular season, it was a $75 million horse ranch. The house that we were living in was an $8 million house. The polo field out back was an $11 million polo field. They let horses go on that polo field, but they did not let us go on the polo field. You're talking about messing with a big person's self-esteem. Oh, they wouldn't let us. What are they saying about us? But anyway, you get the idea. This was an environment that was really conducive for working out. You were in complete seclusion. No telephones, no cell phones, no email, no MySpace, no Facebook, none of that. No newspapers, no magazines, none of that. You were there strictly to focus and to work out. So the fun that you had was really, it came about from the interaction that you would get between your teammates, between other contestants, and between the crew behind the scenes. They really became your family for a period of time. And so you would develop relationships, with guys. And so I remember seeing the crew behind the scenes, Neil and Dave, and all of these guys that I developed a relationship with. And that really helps get you through. I remember Kat, the camera woman, you know, these kind of things, that's what kept you get through. So did we have fun? We had fun, but it's kind of the old-fashioned fun, you know. I can remember learning how to play Texas Hold'em, and we would play Texas Hold'em for candy, which was really weird. You know, you're on this weight loss show and you're playing Texas Hold'em for candy, and then nobody would eat the candy. So then how does that work when you go all in? And, you know, it's really, you're not gaining or losing anything. It's kind of weird. But anyway, I can remember learning how to play Texas Hold'em. I can remember doing all of these other fun things. But yeah, it's at its root, it's the best type of fun that you can have, because you're enjoying other contestants and other people just for who they are. It's nothing contrived. There's no video games, nothing made up, external stimulation. It is just you and your newfound family there. And so we definitely would have fun. Oh, I can remember actually one particular time. We were there on the ranch, and there were people there that tended the grounds, and their kids loved playing soccer. And so we would go out. Oh my God, I was like 360, and we'd go out and play soccer against these little kids, and they just run circles all around us. You know, we're huge and overweight and falling and stumbling over ourselves. It was a bad scene. You know, if anybody had ever come by, they probably would have arrested us, you know, just for fear that we would fall on one of these little kids and crush them, you know. But I can remember all these little fun things that we did. So yeah, we definitely had a chance to have fun. It's just good, wholesome fun. You know, one of the questions that I get in class and that I've gotten from you all is, you know, how do I handle late night eating? And do you struggle with that? And I struggle at times with late night eating. But this is one of the things that I teach in my class that you've got to learn. You've got to learn about how your body balances itself. Your body balances itself with what's called hormones. And so there are certain hormones that are released late at night. They're leptin and human growth hormone, HGH and leptin. These things are released late at night. Now they offset another hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin is a hormone that's released, and let me tell you what hormones are. Hormones are biochemical signals that run all throughout your body that regulate metabolism and other things. So ghrelin is a hormone that's released, and it tells you, hey, you're hungry, let's get something to eat. The weird thing about ghrelin is, it's one of those, it's like a behavior hormone. If you're used to eating at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, ghrelin will signal that, hey, you're hungry. Even if you just ate at 2, it'll signal you that you need to eat at 3. So you have to be careful about your eating. You have to recognize that these hormones are playing an active role in what you do. And so here's the thing. Leptin and HGH are released late at night. They offset ghrelin, except when you eat a bunch of refined carbohydrates at night. So the thing is, if you're hungry at night, okay, first thing is, let's get something to eat. Let's make sure it's not refined carbohydrates, i.e. junk food. Let's make sure it's not, you know, like what I used to eat. I used to eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip ice cream while watching a basketball game. Used to eat that 10:30 at night. You know, or I would have a bag of potato chips or something else. So we want to avoid those refined carbohydrates late at night, but you can eat. It's okay to eat late at night. One of the studies that's talked about often is that overweight people, they eat late at night and that's why they gain weight. That's a half truth. You see, the problem is you've overeaten your calories throughout the day and then you eat late at night. You see what I'm saying? And that's more calories on top of what your body needs for the day. And so that's how you gain weight. Plus, if you eat these refined carbohydrates, the junk food, you know, the garbage type stuff, then you know, you're blunting the release of leptin and HGH, which helps to offset ghrelin. Your body is an amazing chemical process. So the thing that I tell you, there are a couple things. One, think about pushing your dinner back just a little longer. Instead of eating dinner at 6, eat it at 7. Eat a good dinner. You want to have carbohydrates. You want to have proteins and fats, preferably the proteins and fats. You got to watch the carbohydrates. I don't care what you hear. Those things are deadly. You know, if you look around the world, globally, around the world, anytime sugar becomes predominant in a culture's diet, the obesity rates go up. Okay, so you got to be careful of the carbohydrates. All right, then the next thing is, again, you can eat late at night, you know, or consider pushing your dinner back later in the evening, and or having a snack after dinner, a healthier snack. You can have some nuts. You can have some, you know, air pop popcorn. You can have some of these things later in the evening to try to keep you from gorging or going crazy at night. Now, here's the deal. If you still find yourself really hungry late at night, Simply take half your dinner, save it for later. Or take a little bit more of your, maybe not half, maybe a third or a quarter of your dinner, set it to the side and eat it late at night. So you don't have to give up that late night eating, but we want to begin to modify our behavior. We want to change what we do just slightly, but have a regular meal, preferably late at night, as opposed to having all those sugars.